toasty. A little bit. Could be worse. A little bit. Is my mic hot? Is that the live feed up there? We're hyping up Wildcat Nation one hype video at a time. However, before the season starts, there is so much to do, including Pro Day. I'm Danny Rogers. This is the 2021 Arizona Pro Day show. 5 former Wildcats are making their way back here into Arizona Stadium, where they've called home for so many years, and so many important years throughout their collegiate debut and careers here with the Wildcats. They're coming back here. They're showcasing all of their skills. And there's the utmost importance placed on these pro days without the NFL Combine due to COVID-19. So 5 Wildcats coming back, and that includes safety Tristan Cooper and wide receiver Cedric Peterson. They graduated in the 2019 class. However, their pro days were canceled, so they're coming back. It is very much anticipated for them. They've been waiting about a year. Running back Gary Brightwell, who anchored this Wildcats offense last season and did receive an invite to the draft combine. He is here and he is back. Defensive back Lorenzo Burns, also a combine combine invitee, has made his way back to Tucson. And then you've got defensive lineman Roy Lopez, who only spent 1 year with the Wildcats as a grad transfer. He is looking to showcase his skills as well. And speaking of skills, we're breaking down Pro Day into 3 different phases. Players will get measured along with their height and weight taken. That was done first today. Phase 2 includes the long and broad jumps along with that bench press. And finally, the much anticipated 40-yard dash has gotten underway. Monday, I was able to sit down with all of these former Wildcats and just find out what they've been doing since they stepped off the Arizona Wildcat field and started prepping for their dream jobs.
I'm not sure if I have any nerves because I've been working hard each and every day to get to this point where I am right now. So I haven't been nervous at all.
I'm just excited. I don't think I'm really nervous at all. I've just seen so many of them be done. So I think I'm just excited to get this day going and then, compete and get my numbers on the board.
Oh yeah. There's always going to be nerves. There's nerves in any big event anybody does. I think it's more anxiety. I'm excited, but I'm nervous, but it's just like, what's it more? I think it's more I'm excited.
It's been very anticipating. I've been excited for this moment. Actually, a little anxious just to get it over with.
Yeah, it's always been a childhood dream, growing up, you always watch football with my dad and stuff like that, and played Madden, NCAA, and you always just wanted to be, always thought, how do I get there,
NFL is a childhood dream, not only for me, but everybody else that couldn't make it. So
that was always the dream. That was always, I guess that was always
to try to get to reach their dreams and their goals. And that's really what this is all about. And when you have pro days, you have opportunities to, first of all, reconnect. For us coaches that have been in the league, and then for our players, it's really an audition. And I think they all did a really good job today, and excited to watch it.
With all of your experience in the NFL as both a coordinator and assistant coach, what are these scouts bringing back to their GMs, their owners, and their head coaches after pro days?
Well, this year is unique because of no combine. So really what they're able to do is they're not just bringing back measurables, which they would be normally, but this is really the best opportunity to get live and in color views on our players and on all the players across the country during the pro days. So they're going to be able to go back in and they're going to have their meetings in the scouting world. And then they'll also go back and meet with the coaches. The coaches and the scouts will have some conversations. And some of our questions will get answered. As a coach, you want to know, how did they perform under the pressure? How did they perform live? What did they look like? How did they interact with their players and with their teammates? So there's a lot of great information you can get from these pro days. 25
NFL teams represented today here in Arizona Stadium. How meticulous, though, is this process? Knowing that it didn't just start today for these scouts scouting these players.
Well, the scouts are all year round. All year round they're working, and they're trying to gain research and gain information. And, one of the things that we told our scouts is that our building is always open to them. And if we have practice and they want to come to practice in the fall, there's no day that isn't a good day. We have an opportunity for scouts to come watch our guys work. We're going to try to have a great NFL experience room so they'll be able to really get a feel for our guys when they come and watch tape. But in the end, it's a matter of being able to get to talk to them, get to see them, get to understand them, and then see how they perform on Friday and Saturday nights.
There's a long ways to the draft. April 29th probably feels a little bit long to wait for some of these guys in the anticipation of hearing their name called. What should they be doing up until the draft?
Well, our player, they should constantly be working on their craft. I would just take that mentality that regardless of what happens, regardless of your situation, regardless of what you're being told, find a way to get better. Same thing we tell our players. Get better every day. And these guys have opportunities. They'll probably be on some phone calls, some interviews. I don't know if they're able to get on camp, get on other teams' facilities or not. But really what it comes down to is they just have to continue to work.
Speaking of your Wildcats, lots of things are on the horizon. What is the next big thing on the calendar?
Oh, well, without a doubt, we're 5 days away from spring ball. And we've got our first spring practice on Tuesday, our first spring meetings on Monday in terms of getting our installations in. So we are We're super excited about what's coming up next. Our spring game is April 24th, and we're super excited about that moment, too, to get 2 honorary coaches and 2 great Wildcats coming in to be the head coaches of that game.
If you haven't heard, Rob Gronkowski, Teddy Bruschi, just absolute legends here from Arizona football will be coming back. Thank you so much, Coach, for your insight in the NFL, on the former Wildcats. Coming up next, running back Gary Brightwell, who was such a big part of this Arizona offense last year, is joining me along with some NFL scouts. Arizona 2021 Pro Day. We'll be right back. I'm Danny Rogers. Welcome back to the 2021 Arizona Pro Day Show. Joining me now is Tyler Ramsey, a part of the Seattle Seahawks scouting division for the West Coast. I mean, you're a Pac-12 guy. A lot of Pac-12 schools, though, aren't having pro days this time around. How important is this opportunity for the 5 Wildcats you just got to witness this morning?
Yeah, it's really important. Like you said earlier, the combine not happening. This is really our only live look to see these guys. We were able to see a few games this fall, but obviously a shortened season and everything like that made it a little bit tougher to really get your feet on the grass and see the guys that we're interested in. So this is a huge opportunity. We talked about it a little offset. This process has been ongoing for a year. You've had Gary Brightwell's name in your back pocket, some other Wildcats and other college athletes across the country. Really, how meticulous is the process for putting potential draft prospects up to your GM and your head coach? Yeah, it's very thorough. We're learning about these guys' past histories, family histories, academic history. Obviously, the work on the field is very important, but it's funny when we get to interview these guys in this off-season time, how much we know about them. You feel like you have a relationship with them, and we do develop relationships with a lot of players because at the end of the day, we're trying to find the best people, the best athletes that are going to help the Seahawks and whatever NFL teams were here to win Super Bowls. So we really do need to know a lot of information in terms of getting the best people and the best players. You saw a familiar face today, Brennan Carroll, who's on staff with his dad, yep. Pete Carroll with the Seattle Seahawks. And one thing you're looking for in this upcoming draft is a running back. Let's cue running back Gary Brightwell from Arizona Wildcats. What specifically are you looking for in a pro day session from the running back position? Yeah, running back's a big position for us. Pete and Brennan knows well. That's our style in Seattle is running the football. So having a physical running back that's explosive, that runs hard, that can catch the ball well, all those things that we're looking at live. Gary showed today, and he showed throughout his career here. So he's a very intriguing guy for us. Over the last couple of days, we've seen how crazy the free draft frenzy can be. So leading up to the draft and afterwards, when it gets into the entire free agent process, mm-hmm. What are you telling players to prepare themselves for in terms of on the field and off the field for that opportunity? Yeah, we kind of always say it's it's not where you start, it's where you finish. So the draft is really entertaining, and it's a dream for a lot of these guys to realize where you get drafted. But at the end of the day, if you don't do anything with that opportunity, it doesn't really matter where you get drafted, because people remember busts, but a lot of people like following the success of undrafted guys. We've had a lot of success with undrafted guys in Seattle over the past 10 years. So we just kind of tell them, don't worry about all the hoopla and everything, and it matters what you do when you get to the building and when you are given that opportunity and where you take it from there.
Absolutely. This is your first stop on a school this year. This is the first pro day in the Pac-12. I mean, what are the feelings just walking onto a physical football field and seeing some football played in front of you?
It does feel nice. It was definitely a weird year for everybody. Scouting specifically, we travel half the year to football games and practices and facilities all over the West Coast. So it feels good to be back, and actually seeing things live definitely helped the evaluation process. So excited to be here.
We appreciate you so much for stopping by on set. Safe travels, of course, back up to the Seahawks. Joining me in a minute is running back Gary Brightwell, who we talked about a couple times so far this show. If you were to look up the word adversity in the dictionary, you'd probably find Gary Brightwell's name all over it, right next to it. His story is why he's here today, and we're so excited to share a part of that story. Here is Gary Brightwell.
My story impacted where I am right now, because I can honestly say if things didn't happen to me in my previous life, I wouldn't be where I am right now, because I probably would be doing something silly right now. But seeing things at an early age made me mature faster, and it also made me hungrier, because I knew I got to get my mom out of the bad living that she's going through right now. Adversity, it explains me to the fullest. I'm raised by 6 women. So I was raised by my grandma, my mom, my aunts, and my 3 sisters. And at an early age, my grandma, she's the reason why I play football today, well, any sport, because she taught me how to play basketball, football, even how to the correct way to run in track. So it's like she played that big role. My mom worked her 3 jobs for her children, and she's been my mom and my father, because my dad passed away when I was 1 year old. And she taught me things that many moms can't teach. She taught me how to change oil, how to build a cabinet, how to fix drywall. She taught me just everything a dad should teach you, or that a dad could teach you. Me on an NFL roster or just getting drafted by any NFL team would change my family life tremendously, because I'm the first of many things on my Brightwell side of the family. Like, nobody on my Brightwell side never graduated. They all had SBI numbers. None of them did nothing good past middle school. So it would be a big idea, and I might cry if it happens the way I think it will, because it's just a sight to see, if you ask me.
Gary Brightwell, so much has been a part of your story and your journey getting you to this point. What has been put into just your journey of finally getting here to Pro Day and showcasing your skills in front of Pro Day scouts?
So the work I put in, it actually showed today. Like I came in, when I first started working out, I was only jumping a 29 in my vertical. Today I jumped to 34. So I seen a tremendous amount of effort put in these past 2 months.
How excited were you to get back here in Arizona Stadium, a place you've called home? Your family was in the stands. I heard them cheering for you. And you were also cheering on your former teammates, your former Wildcats. Just how excited were you to finally get in here and do all of that?
I mean, I was excited a lot, because who knows, I wouldn't have been here if I never took the risk, because I had an extra year. And if I never took the risk, I wouldn't have been in this position I am today. So, I mean, just being here was a blessing for me.
Where do you see yourself fitting in on an NFL roster?
As far as the NFL roster go, I feel like on any of the 32 teams, I will come in playing special teams regardless, because I'm very experienced. I played all 4 special teams, and I can work my way up to that starting running back position when I get there, because I work hard enough to be able to compete with the best.
Where do you think you excelled here today in front of the scouts in terms of drills or measurements?
As far as that went, I feel like I excelled in my catching ability and just the drills itself. I didn't drop a ball today, and I finished through all my drills explosive.
In these post-pro day interviews and everything leading up to the draft, do you feel like there's anything left unsaid that you need to get out there about yourself?
Not at all. I feel like they seen today that I work hard as any other athlete, if not harder. Because today we went back to back to back, no breaks. And I was actually the first one to do my drills. So I was the first to do every drill today, and then I was the first to do my running back drills. And it just was consistent. Even during the routes, I couldn't take a break. So, I mean, they know I work hard.
How much will you miss suiting up for the Wildcats and going on to the next level?
I'm going to miss it a lot, especially the fans, because 2019, almost every home game was packed out, if you ask me. And it was a blessing to just play in the stadium.
April 29th, does it feel far away, or is it coming up really quickly in terms of the NFL draft?
I feel like it actually feels far away from me. I'm a little antsy. I want to know what happened next. But I'm going to just keep putting in the work.
What would it mean for you to hear your name called on draft day?
I mean, it would be a dream come true because growing up, that's the only dream I ever had. I never did nothing else. I just loved playing football. So that was the only dream I had. So if hearing my name called, that'd be a blessing.
I love it. Awesome. We appreciate you so much for coming back to Tucson. We know Wildcat Nation loves you a lot. Love seeing your name out here. So thank you, Gary. Good luck. Coming up next, we'll get some more Pro Day players, another scout in, so you can really get the feel of what goes on here during Pro Day. We'll be right back. Before we get a couple of more Pro Day guys over here on set, I'm now joined by TJ McCrate, a part of the Philadelphia Eagles Personnel Executive Department. I mean, you have over a decade of experience scouting, looking at college athletes, placing them on NFL teams. What's the number one thing that you look for when you go to these Pro Days and the Combine, if there were one?
Well, when we're looking at players, the thing that we look at the most, I would break it into four classifications. Speed, how fast is the player? Toughness, and that's mentally and physically tough. Instincts, what does a player do on the field with his brain? Is he smart? And the fourth would be character. So speed, toughness, instincts, and character.
You led right into the second one. I mean, so many off the field factors play a role in this, including social media, of course. It's 2021. So where do things like social media and the character really stack up with whether or not you take someone?
Well, they're all on social media. That's part of our life now, and that's okay. I would say we really dig into a player's character. We want to know what they're about. We want to know what type of person they are and if they fit in our locker room, because nothing's worse than having a player, no matter how good they are, if they don't fit in the locker room and get along with people, we don't want them.
A couple of defensive backs working out today. It's a secondary need for the Eagles coming up in this year's draft. What are you looking for from that specific position in the DBs?
We look for guys that make plays, get their hands on the football. We call it ball production. We look for guys that can run and keep up with receivers down the field. And you have a couple good ones here that have really played well in the Pac-12, and they check the boxes.
After Pro Day is all said and done, there's a little bit of a wait until April 29th when the draft kicks off. What is your best piece of advice for these players, these Arizona Wildcats, as they prepare to hopefully have their name called?
Well, first of all, they need to stay in shape and keep working out. And then they're going to be talking to a lot of teams. They're going to be talking to them on the phone or on Zoom. And they need to make a good impression, be themselves, talk to all the teams that call them, and just try to make a good impression on what kind of person they are. Now, the physical part is done. We're done with that. Now, it's what kind of person you are. How would you fit into our team? And, I'll be calling 7 or 8 players this week and just get to know them. And the other thing I would tell them is they're always being evaluated. We talk to everyone. The person that mops the floor, we may ask them what kind of guy is Roy or whatever player it is. So you're always being evaluated.
When you're on those phone calls, is there a go-to out of the ordinary question you like to ask?
I like to know. Personally, I like to know how much football they know. Now that gets into the instincts part of what we were saying. I like to know: do they know the players on the Eagles? Do they know different players in the NFL that play their position? Maybe they could compare themselves to someone. I just like to get a feeling is if they watch football, because if you love football, you usually watch football. And really, with the invention of Madden and all the video games, these kids really know football and the players and different things that's on Madden.
They sure do. I know you've literally got to catch a flight here soon, so we so appreciate you hopping on. Best of luck to the Eagles in this upcoming draft. Hope you get all the pieces you want. Coming up next, we'll have a couple of 2019 Arizona Wildcats, Cedric Peterson and Tristan Cooper, coming up here on set to talk their reaction from their pro day. But they waited a while to get here, almost over a year. Here is how they finally got back here to Arizona Stadium.
Not having a pro day, it kind of sucked at the time, but now that I got the opportunity to showcase what I've been working so hard for, it's really crazy to sit back and think that I've really been working out for a complete full year just for this one opportunity. I feel like there's not really too many people in the world that would sit there and kind of dedicate working out, waking up every day, and kind of working out and not knowing what's next or when you're going to get the opportunity.
And this time last year, I remember, up to about the third day, I think it was 3 days prior to pro day, I get that text from Brian. It was a real big dagger in my heart. Just building up, all those months of training, now setback, now I had a whole another couple, 6, 7 months, I don't even know how many months I've been training. And it's just like, it gave me, I guess, an awakening to being an actual non-athlete.
It's crazy because my coach is Lorenzo Burns' dad, so he's been the one I've been training with for the past year and a half now. So we just been at it pretty much every day, weekends off, and just recording every workout, trying to send workouts to every team, whatever team he had connected with.
I always tell people, don't let the lack of opportunity be the reason why I didn't make the NFL. Please make it be that I wasn't good enough. If I'm not good enough and they tell me I'm not good enough, okay, I'll accept it. But don't tell me there's no pro day, all hope's lost. Well then, I'm gonna live with that for the rest of my life. So what I'm hoping out of this is, by God's will, being able to perform to the best of my ability.
Now joined by wide receiver Cedric Peterson and safety Tristan Cooper. You guys have been waiting for this moment for over a year. Your last year here with the Wildcats was in 2019. Why was getting back here to Pro Day here in 2021 on your radar and so important? Tristan, we'll start with you.
I think I've told you this before. It came to the point to where I felt, don't let the lack of opportunity be the reason why I didn't make it to the league. Be my work ethic. Be something I could control. Be the reason why I didn't make it. So that was something I wanted to achieve today.
Yeah, picking up on him, my biggest thing was just, we've been working so hard for it. COVID hit, it was a crazy time, but we just stuck with it. I know I stuck with it. Had them down days where you want to think, is it ever going to come? But like you said, we don't want to have that thought in the back of your head saying that I didn't give my all. And having this opportunity today just showed that, I worked hard for it, I felt good, ran good, and then now it's just leave it up in God's hand.
Tristan, specifically for you, you've been training, but once you graduated from Arizona, you got your real estate license. So you've been dabbling in that now. You actually had a closing today that your teammates back in the real estate world had to cover for you. What has the last year looked like for you?
This is where mental health comes in. Going from the peak of your life as a college athlete, going to a non-athlete, it messes with a lot of people. But my group, they took me in, they said, listen, what's plan B? What are you without sports? And that was something, sat back 3 days before pro day, I was like, dang, what am I without sports? I kind of knew, I loved marketing, I loved sales, and they were there to pick me up, and I owe them so much that they probably will never know until, I'll probably tell them. But it's just who was I without sports? I was, I guess, a realtor. And, they just like a team here, they picked up the slack over there.
Cedric, you've been mainly training, and you've been training with Lorenzo Burns' dad, Deshaun, a former Wildcat. What's been the emphasis in your training the last year or so?
Just trusting the process, Like I said, you never know when it was going to come, but we just kept working every day, day in and day out, and yeah, just stuck with it. That was like the biggest thing. I mean, it was always fun seeing Lorenzo when he came back. We got some one-on-ones and things like that we can touch up on and really learn from each other. But really, this past year was just really testing my patience, and just sticking with it.
We talked about it a little before you guys got here. There were some nerves, there was some anxiety. It's over with. How are you guys feeling now that you've completed Pro Day?
I mean, I told God, listen, let me put everything out there. Let me perform to the best of my ability. If I do that, I'm content. I'm content with what I put out there. And yes, I had a lot of anxiety, nervous, excitement. Like it's all running through. It's a big event. But now that it's over, I'm content with what the numbers I put out there, how I performed, and it's all in God's hands now.
I feel great now, I just feel like a bunch of stuff just got lifted off my shoulders right now. I can just finally relax and just be thankful that I was able to do this, and I'm happy with my results, and I just hope that I was able to catch one eye out there and that's willing to give me the shot and opportunity.
When the draft comes, April 29th, what will NFL teams get? Whether or not your name is called, whether or not you're in undrafted free agency, what are they going to get from you guys?
I mean, I think something that was so unique about me was tackling. It's either you're physical or you're not physical. You can't really teach physicality, and that was something that, I hope NFL teams, they're intrigued by my numbers. Go look at my film. I missed one tackle my senior year, and that I don't count how many tackles I make. I count how many tackles I missed. That was something that was, I loved about me. You can ask any coach that coached me. That was my forte, was being physical, was tackling. And, I'm not throwing shade, but I just feel like the majority of DBs in the league don't tackle.
My biggest thing is just work ethic and consistency, day in and day out. What are you doing to better yourself each day? Are you coming in with the right mindset, or are you coming in with the mindset, I'm just trying to get through the day, And that was my biggest thing, was just whether it was working on stance, catching, eyes, whatever I could do or my focus on that day, I got better and then just continued to grow, and it shows on Saturday. So I just hope that a team looks back on that and is just willing to just take me in, and we go from there.
We're excited to have you guys back. It's been a minute. Good luck on the rest of your journey, Cedric, Tristan. Thank you so much. Coming up next, we have a couple more Wildcats joining the set to talk their Pro Day. Arizona Pro Day 2021 will be right back.
Hey everybody, I'm Jada Talley. I'm Kayla Talicki.
Patrick Robles.
I'm Sarah Cowherd.
I'm a sophomore at the University of Arizona.
Double majoring in criminal justice and Latin American studies, and I'm currently in Tucson, Arizona.
Phoenix, Arizona.
Beautiful sunny Corona, California.
In my house just off campus.
And I'm reading this from my childhood bedroom.
In 1926, University of Arizona athlete and student body president
John Button Salmon.
John Button Salmon.
Button Salmon
Found himself in a hospital bed.
Critically injured from a car accident.
His football coach,
Pop McHale, rushed to visit him before it was too late.
I'm not even going to breathe around it in case of fall.
When he arrived, the coach asked
him if he had a message to share with his beloved teammates.
Shortly before he passed away, John told his coach,
Tell them. Tell the team to bear down.
Legend has it, John's message to bear down
inspired his teammates, lifting their hearts and giving them the extra push needed for victory.
But it didn't stop there. Bear Down caught fire with the Arizona student body
And generations to come.
It is our rally cry.
it's who we are.
Wherever you are,
no matter how far apart we are,
No matter how impossible it seems.
don't give up. Just keep going.
Keep pushing.
You can do it.
See, se puede.
We're all in this together.
Wherever you are, don't forget.
Bear down.
Bear down.
Bear down.
Go Cats.
I was only here for a year, and it was a new team, it was a new coaches, a new scheme, and I try to look a lot of it at like being a rookie, create relationships on a short-term basis, and be able to keep building on those. Even after I'm done playing here.
I think being a Wildcat has shaped me into a better player just because I've been through a lot of ups and downs here. The ups have been great, the downs, it makes you a better person. But also the connections I've established here has helped me become better as far as relating to people and growing connections with everybody else.
My dad's kind of the best of both worlds. He's a coach and he's a father, and something that he's probably became over the past 4 or 5 years, and that was really just a great father that kind of took a step back from just being a strict arm coach for me. We sit there after every game and we watch film, and he critiques me, and he's a perfectionist. He wants what's best for me, and growing up with that helped me process my game so much better and so much faster, to the point where in college it's just second nature, and just now going into the next level, he's probably more excited than anybody in the world right now just to see me do pro day, and just to finally see that it's my turn to do it. So I owe a lot of credit to him, and also my mom. So.
A lot. It's almost like he's been my agent, to be honest with you. He's been in my ear the whole time, giving me advice, and sometimes it's tough to listen to it because he's my dad, but at the end of the day I know he's coming from a good place, and he's been very helpful.
Now joined by the coach's sons, defensive lineman Roy Lopez, DB Lorenzo Burns. You're both here, back in Arizona Stadium. You the last step foot in here about 3 or 4 months ago. So what are your initial thoughts on just being back here in the home stadium?
No, it was good. It was a very cherishable moment. Got to be here with Ced, Tristan, Roy, Gary. Last time we were gonna step on the field, so it was kind of like wow, like this is really it. So I enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was fun. I felt like we all performed very well. Just be able to come back and leave on good terms, and meet the new staff, see the teammates again, and just keep growing relationships, and I'm excited to come back one day. So.
Pro Day 2021 has come and gone. Where did this day stack up with all of the home games you've experienced here in Arizona Stadium?
I've been here for a lot, so I don't know. It's up there just because it's like a wow moment. Mm-hmm. But I'll say in the top 5. It has to be in the top 5 of the moments that stack up.
Yeah, I wasn't here that long, so I never got to play in front of the full Zona Zoo and the full crowd, but this one definitely top 5 for me, if not top 1. Just it was a great atmosphere, and just being able to play and perform in front of the scouts, and just keep growing as a player and as a person, just experiences, and I look forward to the next step.
After letting this all set in, where do you think you did your best today? Roy, I'll start with you. I saw you flipping the braids back, getting ready to attack these drills. Where do you think you did your best at?
I felt like I showed my strengths in an explosion, change of direction, getting out the breaks, and just bench pressing, and showing that I'm good at the stuff interior D linemen need to be good at. So I felt like that was the biggest thing for me, was to just kind of continue to prove everybody right, and prove everybody wrong that doesn't believe in me. So everybody's got doubters. That's why you keep working hard, and just I felt like that was my best thing to go home and be happy with, was that I showed my strengths, and I'm happy with it.
Lorenzo, where do you think you impress scouts the most?
I think my individual drills, just being able to show them that I can move and do what every DB can do, just something that I've been doing my whole life. So I feel like the individuals were the best thing that I did.
I mentioned it before. Both of you are the sons of football coaches. Lorenzo, your dad has had experience in the NFL. Yep. Roy, but just about everyone in the high school circuit knows your dad. So whether it was solicited or unsolicited, what advice did you get from your family members this morning?
My dad, he's kind of on the paranoid side. So he was kind of a little paranoid at first, but I had to calm him down a little bit. He just said go out there and have fun. Mm-hmm. And I have an uncle who played in the league too. He said the same thing, just enjoy the moment. And that's exactly what I did. So like I said, today was just like another day at the park, running around, watching my family, like playing a little pickup game for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so kind of the same thing with him was just, I had to calm down my dad. He's telling me to breathe and calm down. I looked at him and told him to breathe and calm down. I was like, I'm good, man. I've done these drills for so long, and it's something that you watch growing up, and it was just my turn, to get it done, and so it was fun. I know my whole family was excited to knock it out, and it's a day of celebration. Not only for me, but everybody that touched me and got me to this point. So. I'm excited to go back home and share with them. So.
Imagine all 32 NFL teams are watching this. Let's say that. Why do you deserve a shot in the NFL? Lorenzo, we'll start with you.
I think I deserve a shot just because I have the mental ability to pick up to adjustments. Anything that's thrown at me, I'm quick to pick it up. Safety, nickel, corner. I'm very diverse, and then I don't have an ego, so you can put me anywhere. Special teams, I'll go hold for you if you need me to hold for you. Put the team first, and I'll work hard every day. I'll step in the office.
Probably the biggest thing that I've been asked this question a lot is just I'm unselfish and I perform and I'm a leader, whether that's between vocal, performing on the field. I'm not afraid to get into a new situation and go steal a spot and be able to create relationships while I'm doing it. I got to U of A late, and I got here about 5-6 weeks before the season even started, and I earned a spot. So I think that was the biggest thing without causing problems around me, and being able to be a leader and just learn from others and help teach others at the same time and just keep growing as a player. I spent a lot of time mentally in the weight room on the film, and I don't mind putting in extra time and extra hours to get to that point. So.
There it is. There's the spiels, April 29th, and the few days leading after the draft. We so hope we hear your guys' names. Good luck on the rest of your journey. Thanks to everyone for tuning in to the 2021 Pro Day show. We'll have plenty of more where these come from going into Wildcats Spring Ball, which starts next week. How crazy is that? All right. Thanks for tuning in, you guys.